Yo, what's up guys? Arekkz here, and in this video I want to talk to you guys about some more Hitman 2. If you guys haven't seen it already, then earlier this morning I uploaded some gameplay of the new level, Colombia. Up until now, if you guys have seen any of the gameplay coming out of E3, then you would have seen plenty of Miami, the racetrack, the bright lights, the loud noises, lots of cool stuff there, but this is a stark contrast. We are now jumping over to Colombia, a location that actually feels much more traditional and, say, familiar if you've played previous Hitman games before. It's really, really cool. As mentioned, a stark contrast to what I've played up until this point at E3 and Gamescom. So in this video, I thought I'd take some time to chat about that, talk about Colombia, talk about some of the different aspects of gameplay, things you can do there, and just in general share my impressions, since this morning the focus was more on just letting you guys watch something new, but now it's a chance to actually talk about my impressions.
Martinez is down.
So let's kick things off and start at the top and just give you guys a little rundown of what you need to know about Hitman 2 so far, in case some of you guys might not necessarily be following absolutely everything. If you guys know Hitman, say from the previous release, then you'll remember that back then it worked around a chaptered release. They basically released new sections or new missions every few months, and it basically kind of gave people a chance to check back into the game throughout the year. Now, I appreciate this wasn't to everyone's liking. Truth be told, it actually kind of worked out for me, because when the game first launched, it launched at a bad time for me. There was lots of other stuff that I was working on at the time, so I didn't have too much time to play Hitman. But then the fact that it kept on releasing new chapters throughout the year meant I could basically check back in. But I appreciate to other people it wasn't necessarily what they wanted. They wanted to be able to buy the game and go through the entirety of the thing without being made to wait throughout the year. Well, for those of you guys that didn't like it, Hitman 2 is back to the conventional setup. When you get the game and you boot it up, it will be the entire package. There will still be content to flow post-launch, but the base game will include everything. You'll have all the missions, the locations, and you can basically jump in and experience it like a traditional Hitman game. So rest assured, no issues there. We're not too far away from launch right now. We've still only seen or heard about 2 of the playable locations. According to the official website, there are a grand total of 6. The community manager did actually mention that towards launch they will probably talk a little bit more about some of the other ones, but they do want to keep that information pretty vague because there are some surprises they want people to uncover themselves. So information on the last 4 locations is going to be pretty light, but the focus of course right now is on Colombia, which is a really, really awesome location.
Yeah, what's up? You that power guy? Hang on, man. I hope you don't mind, but we need to freeze him.
Now, one of the reasons I said at the beginning that this feels more like a traditional Hitman level stage experience is because the mission's laid out for you in a kind of predictable manner. The enemies, or the targets, should I say, are located, they're predetermined on the map. You know where they are, you know where you need to go to kill them. It's obviously down to you to work out what you need to do, and in traditional Hitman fashion, there are plenty of different ways to take out your targets. For those of you guys that don't really like stealth, you could of course go in guns blazing, but there are also plenty of tricky and sinister ways to take out your targets without anybody noticing. Now, the mission itself is pretty long. I was only able to play for about an hour, so I didn't quite get to finish it. I did take out 2 of the targets. Admittedly, the second one was a little bit messy, but I did still do it. And speaking of which, 1 second, but when I was at Warner, it's a really cool setup. We walked into the studio. I haven't personally been there before, and then we had a talk to begin with, and we went into sort of their cinema room, Hitman on a massive screen, and then we came out to this themed bar area where we could sort of sit down and play the game. There was a real-life Agent 47 behind me, which was somewhat sinister. But either way, really cool setup, but it's kind of just a cool place to sit down and just invest some time in the game. But back to the actual gameplay. Sat down, played for about an hour. My main focus to begin with was on the Rico Delgado, one of the cartel members, and I decided to follow through one of the story options. Now, if you play previous Hitmans, you'll be familiar with opportunities. They're those situations where sometimes you'll walk past someone and you might hear them saying something, and an opportunity will reveal itself, and you can then opt to track that, follow that, and that will often lead you to an interesting way to take out your target that you might not necessarily have thought about. Well, in Hitman 2, that concept still exists, but they're now basically stories, and they're slightly more fleshed out. You get a little bit more information on the characters, you get kind of some backstory, and they're just basically a little bit more than just follow this waypointer to kill your target. So they're kind of cool in that respect, and that's what I decided to do for this one. I was wandering around, initially trying to find out how to get into the mansion, and then I stumbled across these people down by the lake, and they were talking about a tattoo artist, and that essentially revealed the first opportunity or story for me. So I went out, I found the tattoo artist, I stole his clothes, and then decided to work my way into the mansion and take out my target without anybody noticing, because that's kind of what I do, right? I am a massive Hitman fan. I've played every single Hitman. I even played Hitman Go on the mobile, but the way that I like to play this game is definitely stealthily. I like to try and go through as much as possible. I remember back in the original Hitman 2, I think I did almost every single mission Silent Assassin, where you can only use one bullet to kill your target and the rest of it has to be silent or with other objects. So even these newer games, it's kind of ingrained in me to try and be as stealthy or try and like use the most inventive means possible.
Rico Delgado has been eliminated.
I did actually discover a few other ones after. After killing Rico Delgado as the tattoo artist, I actually discovered another way to take him out, which is to do with loosening a statue up on a stage where he would typically come if there's like a band and a presentation. So obviously that's one of the great things about Hitman. There is a ton of replayability. I always find myself going back into missions trying to take out targets in a ton of different ways, and that is of course definitely ever present in this new iteration. Now I think one of the things that I like the most about Colombia as well is because you have this sort of contrast between the slightly busier, more bustling areas and you have these really quiet sort of jungle areas. When I played Miami, it's just people absolutely everywhere. So you constantly have to think about what you're doing because at any one moment, if you make a wrong turn, somebody's going to see you. Whereas in this Colombian map, there's a little bit more forgiveness. You know, there are plenty of kind of dense jungly areas. You can actually hide in bushes now as well as a means to kind of conceal yourself or to, hide targets and stuff. So there's definitely a little bit more leeway if you want to kind of mess around, or if you do mess up, maybe you're not going to be seen quite so much. So I definitely found it a little bit easier than the Miami map in terms of locations. I like them both, but I definitely found myself kind of acclimatizing to the location much quicker in this one than I did with the racetrack. So yeah, had a lot of fun with that, and of course that also gave me those throwback memories to, I can't actually remember the name of it, but the original jungle map back in Hitman 1, like the first Hitman 1, not the most recent one. Yeah, so getting those kind of vibes coming back was obviously very kind of nostalgic at the same time. So I really enjoyed myself. Like, I have had a ton of fun with this. It is Hitman. Like, if you've played Hitman before, it is basically more of the same. It's kind of what you like. If you enjoy the game, if you enjoy the series, then you're going to love Hitman 2. If you were looking for sort of drastically groundbreaking new changes, or, like ways that the game is doing things that have never been done before, then it's not necessarily going to do that for you, but it is just going to give you more of the Hitman experience, more refined, more polished, and in general, it's shaping up to be a really awesome game. Now, obviously, I've only played a fraction of this. I haven't even completed the Colombia mission. I've only played part of the Miami mission, and of course, there's going to be all the post-launch stuff as well. There'll be the elusive targets. There's going to be plenty of opportunity to revisit these locations, as well as the new ones. But from what I've played so far, I am incredibly excited. So, for the time being, that's pretty much it. Those are some of my impressions and my kind of thoughts from my first time playing on this new map. If you guys want to see the gameplay and you haven't done so already, I'll link it down below. It's about 20 minutes of gameplay in this map without me talking over the top, so you can see the whole thing back to back. But for the time being, that's it. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys want to see more from Hitman 2, and of course keep it locked for much more. Thanks very much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to check out some more awesome stuff from us here at Arekkz Gaming, then you should definitely try to catch TwoSixNine and Paradise Central streaming 6 days a week. You can find a link to the multi-stream in the description box down below. They play a wide range of games, and what's more, we also have the Endgame store. By watching their streams, you earn currency, and you can redeem that currency on the Endgame store for really cool prizes. Those can range from things like games, comics, and figures, all the way up to controllers, capture cards, and even consoles. So definitely drop by and become part of the community. Of course, if you enjoyed this video, then make sure you're subscribed and be sure to click on that little bell icon to turn on notifications so you don't miss our next upload. You can watch more videos by clicking on the options here, but once again, thanks very much for watching, take it easy, catch you next time, peace out.